Today's episode is what I call the management trap. Do you remember when you were a kid and one parent would tell you no and you immediately went to the other parent and asked the same thing, hoping for a different answer or result? If both parents were not on the same page, it often worked out in your favor. And the parents then had to deal with the aftermath of such deception. One parent would be upset at the other because they already gave an answer and was overridden by the other parent. This is age-old trickery that still holds true to this day. Heck, we have 7 grandchildren ranging from 7 years old to 18 months old. And I can tell you, the ones who can talk play Mimi and Poppy constantly. We must be on the same page or they'll take over the house and do whatever they want. Ironically, I've seen this play out time and again on the job. An employee asks one supervisor for something and then gets nowhere, then goes to another supervisor or the manager and gets what they want. Now, the difference between home and the job is the parents will typically have a discussion, talk about it, formulate a game plan to prevent this from happening again. Typically with a response like, "Did you talk to your father?" or "Did you talk to your mother? What did he or she say?" Now the child is now in the pickle and storms off saying, "Just forget it." The parents are now on the same page. When this type of deception happens on the job, and it does often, it creates resentment and animosity within the management team. It also breaks down trust and divides the management team further, making it easier for the employee to work both sides to his or her advantage. Now, what do I mean by this? Here's an example. Sarah asked Supervisor Jill if she can leave work a little earlier because she has an appointment. Jill states, "I'm sorry, Sarah. We have to get this project completed and we can't afford to lose any member of the team. However, if it's an emergency, I can't stop you from leaving. Just know, under the circumstances, I can't justify letting anyone go early and risk not meeting the deadline. So normal dependability policy would apply to your absence." Sarah doesn't like this answer at all. She then goes to Supervisor Jack and says, "I forgot I have an appointment and can't miss it. Can I leave early?" Jack says, "Things will be tight without you, but sure, go ahead." Jill later learns Jack let Sarah go and is furious, as her entire team is now working twice as hard to cover Sarah's workload and meet the deadlines. Ironically, Jack has no idea Jill feels the way she does. Now, if Jill is comfortable having the conversation with Jack, that would be ideal to resolve the issue and prevent this from happening in the future. Oftentimes, what actually happens is Jill keeps this anger inside and now resents Jack because he did not communicate with his peers and made a decision that puts the entire team at risk. Furthermore, Sarah cannot be held accountable for her absence, as Jill stated earlier, because, you guessed it, Jack gave her permission to leave. Over time, incidents like this may occur, asking one and then another to get what's wanted, and Jill's pressure cooker will get to its breaking point. Jack can't quite understand why Jill has distanced herself and is very short with him. He begins to feel she has a bad attitude and not happy with her job. Unbeknownst to him, he is the reason for her change in attitude towards him. You see how this begins to spread like a disease, affecting attitudes, management, teamwork, performance, and overall mental health? It breaks the management team down and pits them against each other. Now, this is preventable. And all it takes is effective communication and common courtesy with your peers, or if you're the manager, common courtesy with your frontline leaders. Whether it's a supervisor overriding a fellow supervisor or a manager overriding a supervisor, it's always a best practice to not give an immediate answer, but in this case, say something like, Sarah, let me get back to you shortly with an answer. I need to assess the operation and workload to see if it's possible to let you go early. I'll see what I can do. At this point, you get with your peers or manager to see what the impact will be letting Sarah go early. If Jack had done this, Jill would have been able to let him know Sarah already asked her and this is what she said. Jack could then go back to Sarah and say one of two things. Either repeat the concerns Jill already told her, which would reinforce Jill's decision and show they are on the same page, or merely state, did you already talk to another member of management about this? This would put Sarah on the spot, and she'd have to confess, yes, I spoke to Jill, or simply lie, which would backfire on her because Jack already knows the answer to the question he asked. Either way, Sarah will think twice about trying this stunt in the future and realize the parent trap won't work with these two. Now, additionally, this will make its way into the grapevine, and others will learn not to try this with supervisors Jack and Jill. So here's the takeaway. If you work in an environment where there are multiple supervisors on duty or a supervisor and manager on duty, never give a quick answer to a question. Always let the employee know you'll see what you can do, but need to assess the operation first to ensure no negative impact. Quickly get with your peers or manager to discuss the situation so you can get back to the employee right away. If you are the only member of management on duty, still assess the operation and the impact it may have, if any, to making a decision. So, if you find yourself in the middle of a management trap, flip the script and ask if they spoke to another supervisor or manager. If they state yes, advise them you'll follow up with them shortly with an answer to their question. You can then converse with other leaders and follow up reinforcing their decision after considering the impact of letting Sarah, in this case, go early. This will help maintain unity and trust within the management group. Remember, you must communicate effectively with the leadership team you work with and realize any decision you make has the potential to undermine the management team, increase the workload for other employees, and negatively impact overall work performance. I hope you found value in this video, folks. If so, please hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when new leadership content is released. Real talk, folks. Have a great day.